My dear friends, when we talk about personality, most people think it is about looks, fashion, or the way you carry yourself on the outside. But the truth is, personality is much deeper. It is the reflection of your inner world. The question is not how to look better every day, but how to become better every day. And that is what we will talk about today. Self-awareness is the foundation of any journey toward improving one's personality. Without it, growth becomes aimless, like trying to build a house without a blueprint. To improve who you are each day, you must first pause and reflect. Who am I really? Most people are so occupied with the rush of life that they never stop to look within themselves. They measure their worth by what others say, or they judge themselves based on temporary achievements and failures. But self-awareness is different. It is about stepping away from noise and recognizing your true self, your thoughts, your behaviors, your strengths, and even your weaknesses. It is about having the courage to look in the mirror of your inner world and face what is there, without filters. When you become self-aware, you gain the power of choice. Imagine a person who gets angry easily. Without self-awareness, they will continue reacting the same way again and again, pushing people away and damaging relationships. But if they take a moment to reflect and ask, why do I lose my temper so quickly? What triggers me? How can I respond differently? That awareness itself becomes the first step toward growth. Self-awareness does not instantly fix your flaws, but it gives you the clarity to see where you need to improve. It is like turning on a light in a dark room. Once you see the obstacles, you can move around them instead of stumbling over them. One powerful practice for developing self-awareness is journaling. Writing down your thoughts, emotions, and daily experiences allows you to observe yourself more clearly. Sometimes when you see your emotions written on paper, you realize they are not as overwhelming as they felt in the moment. You begin to notice patterns in your behavior, the times you are most productive, the situations that make you anxious, the things that truly bring you joy. Each word you write becomes a step closer to understanding your inner world. Another way to build self-awareness is through mindfulness or self-reflection at the end of the day. Just 5 quiet minutes asking yourself, what did I do well today? What could I have done better? Did I speak kindly? Did I listen sincerely? This simple daily practice can transform your perspective over time. Self-awareness also requires honesty, and honesty with oneself is often the hardest form of honesty. It is easy to blame others for our failures, to make excuses for our habits, or to believe that we are already perfect. But real improvement only begins when you accept the truth about yourself. Maybe you procrastinate too much. Maybe you are careless with your words. Maybe you struggle to stay consistent. Instead of denying these realities, acknowledge them with courage. Once you do, you will see that weaknesses are not life sentences. They are areas for growth. And every weakness you recognize becomes an opportunity to strengthen your personality. What makes self-awareness beautiful is that it also helps you see your strengths. Many people live their lives focusing only on what they lack, forgetting to appreciate the qualities they already have. Self-awareness reminds you of your talents, your values, and the goodness in your character. It builds confidence, not the arrogant kind, but the quiet confidence that comes from knowing yourself. When you know who you are, you stop comparing yourself to others. You realize that your journey is unique and that your worth is not measured against anyone else. Improving your personality every day is not about copying others. It is about uncovering the best version of yourself. Self-awareness gives you that roadmap. It tells you where you are starting from, and it shows you the direction you need to take. It makes you more mindful of your choices, more intentional in your actions, and more responsible for your growth. With self-awareness, every mistake becomes a lesson. Every strength becomes a tool, and every day becomes an opportunity to grow. That is why I call self-awareness the first and most important step. Because once you truly know yourself, every other improvement, whether it is learning, communication, gratitude, or emotional intelligence, flows naturally. The journey to becoming a better person does not begin with the world outside you. It begins with the world within you. And when that inner world is clear, strong, and authentic, your personality will shine brighter every single day. The second way to improve your personality every day is by making learning a daily habit. The truth is, our personality is shaped by the thoughts we think, the words we use, and the knowledge we carry. And all of these are directly influenced by how much we are willing to learn. You cannot expect to grow if your mind is stuck in the same limited circle of ideas. Every new thing you learn widens your perspective, and every perspective you gain adds another layer of depth to your personality. Think of the people you admire the most. What makes their presence powerful is not only how they look or how they speak, but the wisdom they carry within them. That wisdom comes from a lifetime of learning, books, conversations, experiences, failures, and observations. All of these are sources of knowledge. When you feed your mind daily, your personality naturally becomes richer, more confident, and more inspiring. Learning is not a one-time event, it is a lifelong process. One of the simplest yet most powerful habits you can adopt is reading. Reading books exposes you to the minds of great thinkers, leaders, and visionaries who may have lived centuries before you. Their experiences, their struggles, and their lessons become available to you in a few pages. When you read, you are not just collecting information, you are shaping your character. A person who reads regularly develops better communication skills, sharper critical thinking, and a deeper understanding of human nature. All of these reflect beautifully in personality, but learning does not stop with books. We live in a time where knowledge is available everywhere: podcasts, lectures, online courses, or even meaningful conversations with people around us. Every person you meet knows something you do not. If you approach others with curiosity instead of judgment, you will find that every interaction teaches you something valuable. Even failures are great teachers. When you fall and rise again, you learn resilience, humility, and courage. These lessons cannot be taught in classrooms. They are taught by life itself. Making learning a daily habit also trains your mind to stay humble. The moment you believe you know everything, your growth stops. But when you remind yourself that there is always something new to learn, you remain open, curious, and adaptable. This openness is one of the most attractive qualities of personality. Nobody enjoys being around someone who thinks they are always right, but everyone appreciates a person who listens, learns, and respects other perspectives. Consistency is key. Even dedicating 15 to 20 minutes a day to learning something new can create massive changes over time. Imagine reading just 10 pages a day. That is more than 300 pages in a month, which means at least a book or two every month. Imagine listening to one educational podcast each morning while you get ready. That is hundreds of insights by the end of the year. These small daily inputs accumulate and transform not only your knowledge but also your outlook on life. The beauty of daily learning is that it improves both your inner and outer personality. Internally, it builds confidence, patience, and depth. Externally, it makes your conversations more engaging, your ideas more valuable, and your presence more inspiring. People are naturally drawn to those who have something meaningful to share, and the only way to have that is by continuously learning. So, if you truly want to improve your personality, make learning a non-negotiable part of your everyday life. Carry a book with you, watch a documentary instead of wasting hours on meaningless distractions, or spend time with people who challenge your thinking. Every new lesson you absorb will polish your personality a little more. And slowly, without even realizing it, you will become someone others look up to, not because you pretended to be impressive, but because you invested in yourself daily. Gratitude and positivity are like the light that brightens your personality from within. When people meet you, they might notice your clothes or your style for a few minutes, but what truly stays with them is how you made them feel. And nothing leaves a stronger impression than the warmth of a grateful heart and the strength of a positive outlook. The truth is, life will never be free of challenges. Everyone carries struggles, disappointments, and pains, but the difference between a personality that attracts and inspires and one that repels and discourages lies in the choice of perspective. Gratitude and positivity transform not just how you see the world, but also how the world sees you. To practice gratitude, you must first learn to acknowledge what you already have instead of focusing only on what is missing. So many people wake up each morning counting their problems, forgetting that even the breath they take is a blessing. Gratitude is not about ignoring difficulties. It is about realizing that even in the middle of chaos, there are reasons to be thankful. Think about it: the roof over your head, the food you eat, the family and friends who love you, the opportunities to learn and grow. These are things we often take for granted, yet they are the very foundation of our lives. When you train your mind to recognize these blessings, your personality starts to radiate contentment instead of complaint. Positivity, on the other hand, is the lens through which you interpret your circumstances. It is not about pretending everything is perfect, but about choosing to look for solutions instead of dwelling on problems. When a positive person faces a setback, they ask, "What can I learn from this?" instead of "Why did this happen to me?" That small shift in thinking changes their entire energy. A positive personality becomes magnetic because people feel safe and uplifted in its presence. They sense hope instead of despair, encouragement instead of criticism. Developing gratitude and positivity is a daily practice. Start small. At the end of each day, write down 3 things you are thankful for, no matter how simple. It could be a kind word from a friend, a good meal, or the fact that you overcame a small challenge. With time, this practice rewires your mind to naturally focus on the good. Similarly, whenever you face a negative situation, pause and ask yourself, is there another way of seeing this? Is there a hidden blessing here? Even in pain, there are lessons. Even in failure, there is experience. And once you adopt this perspective, your personality gains resilience. People admire those who can stand in the storm yet still smile with faith. Gratitude and positivity also deeply influence how you treat others. A grateful person acknowledges the efforts of people around them. They say thank you with sincerity, they appreciate kindness, and they make others feel valued. This small habit strengthens relationships and builds trust. Likewise, a positive person encourages others instead of tearing them down. They speak words of hope and kindness, leaving those around them inspired. Over time, these habits create a personality that people are drawn to because everyone craves encouragement and appreciation. Of course, there will be days when gratitude feels difficult and positivity feels impossible. On such days, remember that these qualities are not about denying pain, but about holding on to light even in darkness. A person who practices gratitude during ease is respected, but a person who practices gratitude during hardship is remembered forever. That strength becomes the true beauty of personality. So, to improve your personality every day, make gratitude and positivity your daily companions. Begin your mornings by thanking life for a new chance. Face challenges with hope and treat others with appreciation. Slowly, your heart will feel lighter, your mind will become clearer, and your personality will shine brighter. And the world will not just notice your presence, it will feel your presence as a source of light and hope. Communication is the bridge that connects us with the world, and the way we communicate often defines how people perceive our personality. You may have knowledge, kindness, or great ideas, but if you cannot express them effectively, they remain hidden within you. On the other hand, when you learn how to communicate with clarity, empathy, and respect, you not only express yourself better, but also build stronger connections with others. Every interaction you have, whether with family, friends, colleagues, or even strangers, leaves behind a mark of your personality. Improving your communication is, therefore, one of the most powerful ways to improve yourself every day. Communication begins with listening, not speaking. Most people think being a good communicator means having the right words at the right time, but the truth is, listening is the heart of true communication. When you listen attentively, you show respect. You make the other person feel valued, and in doing so, your personality gains warmth and trustworthiness. Listening requires patience, the ability to set aside your own thoughts for a moment and fully understand what the other person is saying. A good listener is remembered more fondly than a clever speaker, because people rarely forget how it felt to be truly heard. At the same time, how you speak also shapes the impression you leave. Words are powerful. They can heal or hurt, uplift or destroy. To improve your personality, choose words that are kind, thoughtful, and encouraging. Speak with respect even when you disagree. Avoid gossip, harsh criticism, or negativity because these not only harm others but also damage the dignity of your own personality. When you learn to express your thoughts with clarity and positivity, people naturally feel comfortable in your presence. They trust you, they open up to you, and they are drawn to your company. Nonverbal communication is equally important. Your body language, eye contact, facial expressions, and even the tone of your voice often speak louder than your words. A smile can communicate warmth more effectively than a long speech. Maintaining eye contact shows sincerity. Open gestures and relaxed posture reflect confidence. If your words say one thing but your body language says another, people will always believe what they see more than what they hear. That is why paying attention to your nonverbal signals is a vital part of improving communication. Another important aspect is empathy. Communication is not just about exchanging information, but about building understanding. When you put yourself in the other person's shoes, you respond differently. Empathy allows you to acknowledge feelings, not just words. If someone is upset, they may not need solutions right away. They may just need you to say, "I understand how you feel." Empathetic communication deepens relationships and adds compassion to your personality. Improving communication also means being mindful of clarity. Speak simply and avoid unnecessary complexity. A message delivered with sincerity and simplicity is far more impactful than one filled with complicated words. Confidence in speech does not mean speaking loudly or endlessly. It means being clear, calm, and authentic. People respect those who can share their thoughts without arrogance but with genuine conviction. To build stronger communication habits, practice daily. Pay attention to the way you speak to family at home, colleagues at work, and even the shopkeeper at the store. Each interaction is an opportunity to practice kindness, respect, and clarity. Make it a habit to listen without interrupting, to pause before responding, and to choose words that bring peace instead of conflict. Over time, these small improvements accumulate and transform the way people see you. Your personality is not only reflected in what you know or how you look, it is revealed in how you communicate. Strong communication creates trust, builds influence, and strengthens relationships. Weak communication leads to misunderstandings, conflicts, and isolation. So, if you want to improve your personality every day, start by improving how you connect with others. Listen deeply, speak kindly, express clearly, and communicate with empathy. In doing so, you will not only improve yourself but also bring light to the lives of those around you. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand your emotions, manage them wisely, and recognize the emotions of others with empathy and respect. It is often said that intelligence will get you a job, but emotional intelligence will help you grow, build meaningful relationships, and leave a lasting impression through your personality. Many people assume that being smart or knowledgeable is enough, but the truth is, if you cannot control your anger, if you cannot manage stress, or if you cannot connect with people emotionally, your personality feels incomplete. Emotional intelligence is the silent strength that makes your personality not just impressive, but also inspiring. The first part of emotional intelligence is recognizing your own emotions. Most people react without even understanding what they are feeling. They may lash out in anger, withdraw in sadness, or get restless in anxiety without pausing to reflect. But when you become aware of your feelings, you gain power over them instead of letting them control you. For example, when you notice yourself getting irritated, you can pause and ask, "Why am I feeling this way? Is this worth reacting to? Can I respond differently?" This self-awareness prevents unnecessary conflicts and helps you maintain dignity in difficult moments. People respect those who can remain calm under pressure, and that calmness is a result of emotional intelligence. The second part is managing emotions. It is natural to feel upset, jealous, or even fearful at times. These emotions do not make you weak, they make you human, but allowing them to dictate your actions can harm your personality. Managing emotions means channeling them in healthy ways. Instead of shouting in anger, you learn to express your concerns calmly. Instead of drowning in stress, you take a deep breath and focus on solutions. Instead of letting envy poison your heart, you turn it into motivation to improve yourself. By managing emotions, you show strength, resilience, and maturity, all of which enrich your personality. Emotional intelligence also involves empathy, which is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. Imagine meeting someone who listens not just with their ears but with their heart, someone who acknowledges your struggles and makes you feel understood. That is the gift of empathy, and it instantly makes a personality magnetic. Empathy builds trust and deepens relationships because people feel safe and valued around you. It is not about agreeing with everything others say, but about respecting their perspective and responding with compassion. In a world where so many feel unheard, an empathetic personality becomes a source of comfort and strength. Another aspect of emotional intelligence is social awareness and relationship management. This means being sensitive to the environment and adjusting your behavior accordingly. For instance, joking during a serious discussion may make you seem careless, while showing encouragement during someone else's success reflects maturity. Managing relationships requires patience, honesty, and kindness. A personality that balances firmness with gentleness is one that earns both respect and affection. Emotional intelligence is not built overnight. It is developed through daily practice. Start by observing your emotions instead of reacting instantly. Take a moment of silence before responding in heated situations. Practice gratitude to reduce negativity and remind yourself that every person you meet is fighting a battle you cannot see. These small practices train your mind to respond with wisdom rather than impulse. The beauty of emotional intelligence is that it improves both your inner world and your outer presence. Internally, it gives you peace of mind, clarity, and self-control. Externally, it shapes how people experience you. Calm, compassionate, and trustworthy. Over time, this balance between the inner and outer self becomes the essence of a strong personality. So, if you want to improve your personality each day, do not just focus on how much you know, but on how well you manage what you feel. Learn to master your emotions instead of being mastered by them. Be empathetic, stay calm, and respond with understanding. Emotional intelligence is the art of being human with grace, and once you practice it daily, your personality will not just impress people, it will touch their hearts. Consistency in small daily actions is the hidden ingredient that transforms your personality over time. Many people dream of becoming better versions of themselves, but they expect overnight change. They read a motivational book once, attend a seminar, or practice gratitude for a week, and when the results are not instant, they give up. The truth is, personality is not built in a single day, it is built every single day. It is not the big actions you do once in a while, but the small habits you repeat daily that shape who you become. Consistency turns discipline into character and character into personality. Think about it this way: if you want to be physically fit, going to the gym once will not change your body. But going regularly, even for short workouts, will transform you over months and years. The same principle applies to personality. If you want to become kinder, you must practice kindness daily, not just when it is convenient. If you want to improve your communication, you must practice listening and speaking with respect in every interaction, not only when you are in front of important people. The little things you do repeatedly become your identity. Consistency also teaches patience. We live in a world that celebrates instant results, but real growth takes time. A seed does not turn into a tree overnight. It requires water, sunlight, and care every day. Similarly, your personality requires small daily nurturing. When you practice gratitude today, you may not see a huge difference tomorrow, but over time, gratitude will reshape the way you see life. When you read a few pages every day, you may not feel smarter immediately, but 1 year later, you will realize your thinking has expanded. The small daily actions may seem insignificant in the moment, but their impact accumulates like drops filling an ocean. The power of consistency lies in discipline. Some days you will not feel like practicing positivity. Some days you will want to skip reading or ignore your emotions, but consistency means showing up even when motivation is low. Discipline is stronger than mood. By choosing to stick to your small habits regardless of how you feel, you build a personality that is steady, reliable, and trustworthy. People admire those who are consistent because it shows strength of character. Anyone can act kind once, but a person who is kind every day earns lasting respect. Consistency also builds confidence. When you keep promises to yourself daily, you begin to trust your own word. Each small action becomes proof that you are capable of growth. For example, if you promise yourself to write in a gratitude journal every night, and you keep that promise over time, you start believing in your own ability to change. This self-trust reflects in your personality as confidence, not arrogance, but the quiet assurance that comes from knowing you are dependable. Another beautiful result of consistency is authenticity. When habits are practiced daily, they become part of who you are, not something you pretend to be. Smiling once in a while may feel forced, but smiling every day makes you naturally cheerful. Listening carefully in one conversation may impress someone, but listening every day makes you genuinely empathetic. Consistency removes the mask and reveals the true strength of your character. Improving your personality is not about dramatic changes, but about small daily steps repeated with commitment. Every time you choose to speak kindly, to stay calm, to read, to learn, to reflect, or to express gratitude, You are laying another brick in the foundation of a strong personality. Over weeks and months, these bricks build a structure so strong that it becomes unshakable. So, remember this: success in improving your personality is not about intensity, it is about consistency. Do not underestimate the power of small actions repeated daily. They are the seeds that grow into the tree of your character. Stay consistent with your habits, even when progress feels slow. And one day you will look back and realize you have become a person who not only lives with strength and grace, but also inspired others to do the same.